Hello everyone, I'm Sujay. We are from Team Binary Bosses and we are going to replicate Shazam browser extension in this video. So, let's get started. Let's start with an doc type HTML and give the title as Shazam Landing Page. And let's link this to style.css. And as we can see, there are a few icons and in this navigation bar, so let's add few icons. Okay, from the font awesome. So these are the few icons that I've picked from the font awesome. Okay, then let's start with the navigation bar. So let's start with the navigation bar. Here we have we've taken so here we have taken Sujay as a class name, and in that we've put a navigation bar, some of the ordered list, and in that list we've given the anchor tags to represent. Okay, and then we've taken the main title as heading 1 as a Shazam browser extension. Then let's continue. So here as we can see in this tab, there's a secondary title below the main title, Shazam browser extension. Below the primary title, it's identify the songs in the secondary from your web browser, and we've taken the button ext such that this represents this tab. Sorry for that. So we've taken h6, the Chrome extension, and we've uploaded the Chrome Chrome icon here, Chrome image. Sorry, and let's continue. Now we can see there are two containers here, the class name, and we've taken an image here, and with the second container we've taken an image. So here's what it looks like. Yeah, we need to change these in the CSS part. So let's complete the HTML and then go to CSS, and we've done with the h5 part. So let's continue. Here we've taken three containers named as, and here we've placed three images in that three containers, and the h5 tag as a download the app, and here the h2 tag as the identify songs around you on the go, such that it indicates this part and identify songs around you on the go. Okay, and then here we've taken button as id. If we placed an id to the button as a content, we have taken an image in that button. Okay, and we've written some of the content in that button, and so let's check the output in that. So here's the button we've taken. As you can see, there are few text in that button, and there is a scanner that is particularly an image. And then so here there is an HTML. So there is heading named global top 200, and we've taken span. In that span we've written some content named as top songs being discovered around the world right now. And as you can see, we've taken a video from the Rowdy Rich Box official, and we've muted the video. Okay, and we muted the video. Let's continue with that. Let's continue after that. Here there's a pic. We've taken a pic in that in a class, and we've placed an image and a paragraph and a heading in that pic. So we've taken text as a class, and as similar to that, we've taken the globe top 200 chart over that global 200, as this is a global top 200 chart. Okay, and we've taken HR as a horizontal line under the global top 200 chart, and then we've placed these names: Makeba, All Eyes on Me, Tizanum, this top 200 chart as the names. So we've taken name 1, that we've taken ID as a names, Makeba Jan. So the first name, Makeba, is represented by a paragraph, and the second name, Jang, has been represented by heading tag h6. And then we've taken 6 names overall. After the names, we've taken an image name with the class of photo, and the paragraph class named as head, and an image class named as featured photo, and some of these more charts. So as we go on to the output, so here's that video we have taken. It is a global top 200 top songs being discovered Shazammed songs worldwide, and as you can see, these are the names: Makeba Jain, All Eyes on Me. If those are the names, okay. Here's the featured top artist links. Here are the more charts. So the HTML part is almost completed. Here I have taken X as a class and represented an icon named icon as FA sharp and FA light. So at last we've come to footer. So I've taken an order list in the footer, and P as a in the paragraph I've taken a company, and then we've taken an anchor tags placed in the list. So these BR tag include the spaces between those between these anchor tags, and this is the and here's another ordered list we have taken with an ID named called END. Similarly, we've taken a BR tags in this ID and so we've taken here a box as a class, and in that box we've placed a button. So the button contains a matter with a heading tag named English. Here I've taken a class named Y. In that class I've taken an icon which is redirected from the font awesome. Here there's a class named called page, and this page is written with name with a paragraph called Shazam, and page 0 containing an image of the Shazam.png and the preview. In that preview there's a child called txt with the h6 as a heading tag, and in that heading tag there is an image which is represented with an apple music.png, that and then there's a button type is equal to button and try now. It's a tag which is represented with a button, and here's a try now for that button. Okay, then let's continue. Here we've taken social media platforms. Now you can see as in the main website there are these social media platforms. Okay, there is a Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. So here's the social media platforms. So these are the social media platforms which can be redirected to that platform and download the Shazam app. Here's a button, get it on Play Store.png, and so second social media app. Here's a third social media app, fourth social media app, and we've taken the logos of that social media apps. Here's the logo of the Facebook, Twitter, this copyright symbol, Instagram, and Snapchat, and for the copyright we've taken class as a copy, and this and copy semicolon represents the copyright symbol, and we've taken the copyright affiliates as a h4 tag, and the better supplies responsibility as cause here we get a hovering effect in that supplier responsibility. So that's all about HTML. So let's continue to the CSS. So let's start with the CSS part. So in this part, this asterisk symbol represents the all elements in that HTML. So the asterisk is to before represents the elements before the elements before the HTML, and the content in the content before the in the HTML, the content after the HTML. Okay, and then so as we've taken an anchor tag in the navigation bar, so we've represented with an A as a and we've adjusted the elements as the position, relative text decoration, and non-font family as pop and sans serif, the color as white, letter spacing between these letters have a zero point 0.5 pixels, and the padding as 0 space 10 pixels. The 0 space 10 pixels tells us in that top down as 0, and left and right represents as a 10 pixels. Okay, then next Here we have taken the body overflow X as hidden. So this represents the scroll bar becomes hidden in the Y direction. Sorry, in the scroll bar becomes 0 in the X direction. Here there is no scroll bar as you can see. And so let's get to the next. Here I've placed nav ul img. Here this represents the image in the navigation bar and in the unordered list. I've given the positions with height, top left cursor. So these are the adjustments to that image for the replication of Shazam landing page. For the replication of the Shazam landing page, here, okay. Then here we've taken icon as a class, so we should represent dot icon in the style.css to get a proper output in the output. So we've taken h1 as the main heading called sub. We have taken so h1 as a Shazam browser extension. We've taken h1 as a Shazam browser extension, so we've adjusted to the text align as center, margin top, and color font size font family, so that it gets a proper explanation for this Shazam browser extension. As it is in the center, we've taken text align as a center, and then we've taken a class called Sujay, right? So in that Sujay, we've taken a background image as a linear gradient. Some of these, the mixture of these three blue colors. So this is a mixture of in this output. This is a mixture of two or more colors. So we've taken as linear gradient. Okay. Here we have taken. Here we have taken Sujay is to hover, Sujay is to active, Sujay is to focus. So these represents the hovering effect perfectly and accurately for these three elements that we have taken. Now there isn't any hovering effect in the main landing page, but we are improvising the main Shazam landing page. So we've taken background image as black for that improvisation, and then we've taken h4. So we've taken h4 as the subheading identify songs in the second from your web browser. So we've taken h4 and we've adjusted to the text align as center, margin top, and color of that text. And then so the next part contains a nav li button. These li button here is the margin left. These represents, okay, let's get. So here's the main part. We've given the hovering effect as black, so you can observe there when the cursor is pointed, so it gets hovered as black. And you can observe there is a Shazam image, I mean the Shazam logo here when the cursor is pointing, and the Shazam text is appeared. The Shazam text is appeared when the color gets blue. When the color gets blue, here the nav li button. Okay, and then so this part dot container one mg. So this is the part we've taken the container one. We've taken the container one as an image. So we don't container one as image. So we've adjusted the image so that the image should be in the part of that container, and then it should be at the part of the container. We are giving the padding to that nav li button, which we forgot to give. So and part is of the icon which is spaced with that nav li button. So this is the space that I'm talking about in this button. So this is the icon and this is the text, and here's a word space in between them. And we've taken a class called ext, so that ext. So here's a button class called ext, and we have taken an image in that ext. So in we've taken the border radius as 12 pixels, border spacing, display block, margin auto. Here the display block and margin auto represents that the button should be placed at the center, and here the font weight that represents the text of that text inside the button should be bolder, and the font size represents the the size of that text should be about 15 pixels, and the cursor pointer represents here when the cursor is pointed towards that button, and should be pointed towards that button, so it should be placed like this. So let's continue. We've completed up to .ext. Let's continue with the button image. So we've taken button image as that Chrome extension, Chrome button, right? So we've adjusted that button inside that width 50 pixels, so that the image should be inside that button. Now we can see that the image is literally inside that button, and we have to adjust this text Chrome extension so that it gets aligned with that image. It's aligned with that image. So we've taken h6 as the h6 for the Chrome extension, and aligned we've aligned similar to that of the Shazam landing page. So we've taken the Chrome extension. Here's the Google Chrome. So you can take this text as a Google Chrome or a Chrome extension. It's not pretty much big deal. So let's continue. So we've completed up to the first container. So the first container looks like this. Okay, here's the in this first container. There we have set a background image, and we've taken an image named Shazam and containing the logo. Here we have taken a button and button which is pointing towards that cursor when we place that button, and here we have taken an icon similar to that. We have taken a Chrome extension button, and which points towards the cursor and when it is placed on that button. And here we have taken an image. Okay, and this is an image which is set inside that container, sorry for that. So let's continue. Here we've started with the container 2. Here we have taken container 2. In the container 2 we have taken image, so that image looks like this. Here's the image in that container 2, and this container 3 we've taken what we have taken the container 3. So here's the image in that container 3. We've taken an image in the container 3, and we've adjusted such that it looks like this. Okay, so let's continue. After that, here's an h5 heading tag, and we've taken an margin left, margin top, and font size which gets readjusted to that margin left, margin top, and font size similar to that of extension page. So as you can see, this gets changed. And let's take this h2 tag. Here's the h2 tag. This h2 tag has bigger size than that h5 tag. So this is the primary h2 tag. This h2 tag represents the primary heading, and this h5 tag represents the secondary heading of that element that we have taken in the container 3. Okay, and then let's continue towards content. Here here the hash represents an id which we've taken here, which we have taken id in that button. Id represent id, and in that button we've taken an image and all. Let's continue with that. So we've taken a image in that id. So here we have taken hash represents uh, uh, it's like a syntax to get a proper output when we are coding with id. So it got readjusted such that got readjusted to the required settings. So it got readjusted to the required thing. Here the download app identify the settings on you on the go, and it got adjusted to and it moved towards left from the starting point here. And here P represents the paragraph which we have taken in the ID part. Here use your phone camera to scan and download free Shazam app. Free Shazam app. Here P represents the paragraph which we have taken in the ID content. So we've taken H6. So this H6 is placed inside that button, and which is named as content as the ID, which is named content as the ID. Then we've taken a horizontal bar inside that, which so here's the horizontal bar, and we've adjusted the horizontal bar as the color as gray and line height as 15,000 pixels. Continuation of this. Okay, here we have taken H3 tag. This H3 tag has a content. So this H3 tag has the content global top 200. So this H3 tag is as the follows. Here is the H3 tag, which is the color of which has a color of silver, not exactly silver, but a pinch of RGB. Here we can adjust this by moving this. We can adjust the color of that text by moving next. Here we have taken class as a title. So in that title we've represented display flex padding top form family and justify content center. So here the justify content center represents the text inside the title should be at the center, and the display specs helps the to run this part. And we have taken the padding top as 15 pixels, which represents the text from the top to be moved downwards, and the font size as 55 pixels, and font family as a Franklin Gothic medium. Here dot d so here I've taken a class called .des display. This is pretty much similar to the previous class called title, but there is a difference here. We have added a font weight instead of font size. The font weight represents the amount of boldness in that written part. So this is the video part. We've adjusted the video part as a position relative, margin left, margin right, and the border radius is 70 pixels. So we can get an image video as like this. Okay, coming to next. So coming to next, we've taken a pic. So class is a pic. In that pic, we've taken an image. So we've adjusted that image as a position relative height 50 pixels with 50 pixels left bottom, and so this represents that image which is placed in the above the video. Is placed above the video, and here's the pic.p. Here pic.p represents the paragraph that is written in that pic. So this is a paragraph that is written in that pic, and here's the h4 represents the another heading tag in that pic. So these are the content which are written in that pic, and we've adjusted the color such that it gets pretty much similar to the of the here pretty much similar to that page. So let's get to the next part. Okay, and we've taken text as a class, and we've represented this text in the part of a div. In this text, we've taken the paragraph and adjusted this paragraph uh, by many sort of things like color as black, margin top, padding left, font size, font family, and bottom zero. Here bottom zero represent that the paragraph below it there should be any there shouldn't be any space, and see all. And we've taken a class named as see all. Here P is the paragraph in that P all, and it is pretty much similar to that of the previous text class. And here we've here I've taken images. So these images contains in images. I mean, image is placed in the unordered list. This unordered list is placed in the div, and that div is named as a class called images. So in these images, I've taken the height 350 pixels, and so that I've adjusted properly so that it's maintained properly. Here the name one dot name one p. This dot name one p represents the paragraph in that dot name one. Here is a dot name one. Here is the Makeba and Jane. Makeba and Jane. Actually, I have mistakenly taken these ID. You can ignore them if you want, cause I've taken the names separately. There is no need of that ID. So these are some of the adjustments that need to be done similar to that of previous. I have explained this name.pvp and name.h6. This h6 is the another heading tag which is lower to that of p, and these are the similar positions adjustments from the name 1 to name 6. After that, we've taken dot photo image. Here the dot photo image is the image which is placed in the class called photo. So here is the output. Here's the image that we have taken, so that it gets pretty rockified when the user visits this Shazam landing page website. And then so here is the dot head p. Here's the dot head p featured photo subhead p, and this dot head p represents the heading. And in that heading, I mean class as a heading. In that heading, we've taken p as a paragraph. So here's that thing here, featured top as that heading, and featured photo image which is with a 100%, and dot subhead p as is more charts. We've taken these lines adjusted towards this. Okay, and more image as this is an image of that more charts, as this is an image I've taken. The next part contains. So let's continue next. Uh, here's the end. The end is named as class. In that we have taken a paragraph, and we've adjusted this paragraph to the display flex. And here's a dot x. In this dot, this I represents the icon of that preferred class. Here's a dot line. Here's a dot line represents the position related to top 87 pixels width and the left. So this is the class named line. I will show you the output. So this is the thing called a line. So I've adjusted the line. Here's a box button. This box button, so it's got placed here. We will adjust that box button now. So we've written the content in that dot box button. So dot box is the class represented in that button, and h6 is the content written in that box. So we've taken some of these top left color font, family font, weight font size, and the color of that text, so that it gets, so it will be pretty good when we get a first sight of it. So dot y is another class which is similar to the dot x. So dot y contains another icon which is placed at the position, color, and top and left, which is similar to the adjustments of the dot x. So OL is an unordered, so OL is an ordered list. So in that OL we've taken display, color, position, left, top, list type. Here list type represents that the dots which we get in the list format, it gets none. Okay, here is another id, which id named as end. So that end, where's that end? So here's that end. We've taken this is the footer part. Actually, we can take directly footer to represent, but I've taken OL and ID because we've placed two ordered list in that footer. Two ordered list, so it gets pretty tough if we take footer. So I've taken hash end as that ordered list, and then here is a footer we're talking about. So the footer gets we've placed two ordered list in that footer. As we can see, the if we change any bit of thing in the footer of the it gets completely changed as we are changing. Here dot page p represents a class named page, and p represents a paragraph. And here are the few adjustments of that class named as page p. And here is the OL p. Here, as we can see, we have taken OL in the footer part. Here p is the company and legal. Okay, if so it gets changed in the company part. And if we take here page dot page 0 img, so there are, this is the Shazam picture we're talking about. So here we got a Shazam image. Okay, Shazam image, which is pretty similar to that of these Shazam. Okay, which is pretty much similar to the Shazam. Dot page 0 here, and okay, dot page 0 has been completed. Now we are moving to the next part. So the next part is dot preview. Dot preview represents, okay, dot preview represents children having text and content inside that H6 and P. So the preview gets overall changes in the child named txt and the content inside that H6 and P. Moving on, moving on with the preview H6 image. So with moving H6 as we have taken particularly H6. So we are moving H6 with the position, height, and height, width, and top. Coming to the next part, so here we have taken dot preview p and dot preview button. Dot preview p represents dot preview p represents the content paragraph inside that preview part. Inside that preview part, dot preview button represents the button placed inside of it. Here is the preview button, the button. So going to next. After that, after preview button, we've taken dot Sujay a after and a is to hover after. So these parts can represents the content after the Sujay part in that what we will call class name as Sujay, right? We've taken class name as Sujay. Okay, we've taken class name as Sujay, and the content after that, after the part in that anchor tag dot Sujay age to hover age to is to after is the width of that 100% with 100%. Okay, so here hover represents the hovering effect that includes the content inside that dot Sujay. So if we can see, so this is the hovering part of that dot Sujay represents, and here is a cursor pointing hovering part effect in these texts. So we've taken few classes named as social media, right? So okay, we've taken the social media class names called social media. Here the social media represents social media contains a button, a h6 header tag, a paragraph tag, and an image inside that. So social media one gets adjusted to the position related to top left cursor pointer. So that cursor pointer represents when the cursor gets moved to that object, it gets pointed. So the social media one button represents the social media one button gets adjusted with the given width, border radius, border, background color, with the margin left. The social media one button head 6 represents the content inside that button gets adjusted accordingly to the given adjustments. The social media one paragraph represents the adjustments to be done in that social media one button. And the image inside that button should be placed before the content of the h6 and p, that is at the starting of the button. So now you can see, if you can see, so I've taken one example, right? So this is the social media one button which is placed at the at the before of that paragraph and h6 header tag. Similar to these, here is the Apple icon, here is the Chrome Web Store, and here is the Galaxy Web Store. Here are the adjustments that we have taken to move to a proper position and equal spacing in between them. After that, here's the dot follow h3. Dot follow h3 represents the content in the class named follow h3. So as we can see, this is the followers heading tag, follows heading tag, which is written in the class named called fh3. So its position is set as relative, and display flex and justify content center represents the position, I mean the text of that object to be at the center. And then, so here we have taken dot logo one. We've taken logos of a few famous websites, right? So the first logo as Facebook, I think. Just yes, the first logo as the Facebook, second logo as the Twitter, third logo as the Instagram, fourth logo as the Snapchat. So if we can see, the logo one image which represents Facebook, and the logo two image represents the Twitter, logo 3 as Instagram, and logo 4 as Snapchat. So these are the adjustments that should be below the dot follow h3, and having an equal space besides them, that is in between the logo 1, logo 2, and logo 1, logo 3, and logo 1 and logo 4. I'll show you at the output. So these as I represented this for these logos that are below the followers header tag, and having equal spaces in between them, and yeah, we've reached our final part. So here's dot copy h4, dot copy p, and dot copy is to hover. So these are the class that which ends here. Here the copy h4 represents the header tag of that copy, which is adjusted to, which is below the logos. Okay, we've taken four logos, right? So this represents the end part of that copy. As you can see, this is the copy, here's the copyright symbol, the copyright of apple.inc and its affiliates, and dot copy is to p represents this supplier responsibility. Okay, the supplier responsibility, and got copy p is to hover. Here there is a hovering effect with the text decoration as an underline. So as we've moved our text here, there is an hovering effect, And after forgot to represent this bar represents the preview button that we have been changing in the VS Code. So that's it, friends. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. So our final output looks like this. Okay, we've put an hovering effect here, and as we can see, there's only logo appearing at the top. Here's the hovering effects of that in the navigation bar here, and when we point here in the button it plays a cursor pointer as similar to that. We've placed a Chrome extension part, and here is an image inside that container one. This is the container two, uh, and this is the third part, container three part. And we've taken, here's the image, here's the heading tags, and this is the image, and this is the main part inside the globe top 200 top songs being discovered around the world right now. And this is the video that we have taken, and it is placed above the above and not placed in the background. And this is the similar image that is placed above the video part. Here is a globe global 200 chart. Under that we have HR tag, and here is the see all part. And these are the some of the top songs being played. And this is an image. Here are featured top artists which are globally uh, high rated singers. This is the more chart. Here the globe global 200 chart, and we are last we come to the footer part. Footer part contains the cookies, and here is an underline part. Here is the Shazam logo, and as we can see, there is the hovering effect as we move the cursor uh, to these list type of parts. And here is the another cursor pointing towards these, but here is the language selection bar, and this is the preview button. I mean this is the preview bar which gets which moves similarly when I move the cursor according to the scroll bar. It gets moved. Here is the followers page. The here are the few logos of famous social media, and this is the copyright of that Shazam landing page. And at last, here is the hovering effect of the supplier responsibility. Thank you, friends.